Hi, I'm Chris Meyer of Learning Modular, and welcome to Learning Modular Synthesis Eurorack Expansion. The idea behind this course is you have, or you're thinking about getting, a small modular system, maybe a semi-modular synth like the Moog Mother 32 behind me, and you're wondering, what should you get next to expand its capabilities? Well, that's a very good question, because there's well over 1,000 different Eurorack format modules available. Where do you begin? Well, I hope to start to pick apart that puzzle in this course. First, I'm going to talk about important glue modules you should consider getting first to help connect to and take advantage of any extra modules you may be thinking about acquiring. Those include better ways to get control voltages in and sound out, multiples and mixers so you can split and recombine your signals, additional envelopes and VCAs or voltage controlled amplifiers, and multifunction utility modules that will help you fill in the gaps. Then I'm going to talk about different types of voltage controlled oscillators or VCOs that are available. This includes classic analog oscillators that includes features such as pulse width modulation, sync and FM, versatile digital oscillators that have alternate waveforms and even alternate synthesis techniques, and then what's called a complex oscillator, a design inspired by the Buchla or so-called West Coast approach to synthesis. Then we're going to dive into some of the different types of voltage-controlled filters or VCFs that are available. I'll show you a favorite of mine that's based on an Oberheim design, which sounds completely different than the Moog I'll be using throughout the rest of this course, a very edgy one based on the Russian Polovox synthesizer, and a resonator-type filter that will help you emulate vocal formats or room resonances or other natural phenomenon with your synthesized sounds. After filters, I'm going to be talking about other sound modifiers, other modules that can change the tone coming out of your oscillators. These include classics such as ring modulators, modules that take a so-called West Coast approach such as wavefolders, and a very simple module that can take the one VCO that might be in your semi-modular synth and make it sound like many. Then I'm going to move on to different types of modulation sources, things that produce voltages to control those modules. I'll show you a flexible envelope generator with different curves that can help you sculpt your modulating voltages, a digital low-frequency oscillator or LFO that has alternate waveforms compared to your traditional analog LFO, and a random voltage source to help introduce controlled amounts of uncertainty into your patches. Next, we're going to move on to modules that help alter the level of control voltages and audio that's moving around inside your system. This will include a variation on a voltage-controlled amplifier known as a low-pass gate, as well as a couple different types of mixers that have their own different types of distortion or saturation. And indeed, throughout this course, I'll be demonstrating how to control levels to either keep everything nice and clean, or to purposely exploit distortion and noise to introduce a harsher industrial edge to your sound. Finally, we're going to talk about modular effects. Modules for your synth. They're similar to your stomp boxes or outboard gear, but which help further treat your sound and make it sound just a little bit more special. My emphasis here will be on taking advantage of voltage control so that you can perform the sounds coming out of them, or in general, create sounds that are different than the presets that might be in your rack mount gear. Each chapter on an individual type of module will first start off with a movie that shows you how to patch that module into your system. It will also give you an idea of what general features to look for. Then I'll talk about 3 different modules inside that class, sharing not just what that module does, but also giving you some ideas of what you might want to look for when you go shopping for modules, and also to share various synthesis tips and techniques so you get an idea of what module creates what type of sound. Now, if you're completely new to modular synthesis, this course may not be right for you. I've created 2 other courses that are actually intended to go before this one. First is the original Learning Modular Synthesis course. That one's designed for someone who's just coming into modular synthesizers and wants to see what type of module formats are available, what are the core modules they should consider, and then learn how to use each of those modules to create classic synthesis techniques. For those of you who've decided to take the semi-modular path, such as by getting a Moog Mother 32 or something similar, I have a separate course on the Moog Mother 32 that will show you how to connect it, go over the basic synthesis and sequencing sections of that module, and then show you how to install it in a Eurorack case and to connect it to your first few modules. Now, I happen to believe that understanding the voltages going around inside your modular synth and how your ears are reacting to the sounds those voltages create are essential to help you convert the ideas in your head to the sounds coming out of your synth. Therefore, throughout this course, you're going to be seeing I have a lot of waveform and harmonic spectra displays to show you what's going on with each individual module. In the next movie, I'll explain those types of displays so they'll make more sense when you see them throughout the rest of this course. Now, as I mentioned, I firmly believe the better you understand how your modular synth works, the easier it's going to be to convert the sounds in your head into the music you really want to make. It'll make the whole experience more enjoyable and less frustrating. So with that in mind, let's dive in and have some fun.